Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Superstar PartyPlex FBS. My name is Mira, and I will be one of the people playing today as James. I look at my other folks. How do we want to do this then?
Well, I guess I'll go next, and then we can have our cameo guests go. Hi, I'm Zen. I'm also one of the people playing today as Luke Wright, aka Eggs Florentine, aka a bunch of other nicknames that have spawned off of the egg thing, I think.
Yep,
And possibly Handy is here also, although it's probably not going to participate much.
Or
except maybe,
Handyford willing.
except maybe to tease them.
Hi, I'm MJ. I'm just gonna be playing Trick in a cameo role.
Hi, I'm Pengu. I'm going to be both a child and an adult man, very briefly.
All right. First off, hey, Kestrel. James has come up to you
Yes.
looking kind of shy.
Aww, this
And
boy.
yeah, his boy. And he very shyly asks if you could help him out with something.
And of course, Kestrel says yes.
And he will explain that he and Eggs are going to be going on a date. But he does a little anxious gesture. There's this Eggs isn't really comfortable with leaving a small children alone right now. So the daycare is kind of out considering events.
Kestrel just nodding sagely, but is also in his head like, you want me to watch children? You want me to watch children? Okay.
Yes, we do want to watch you to watch children. And
Okay.
James just kind of he is giving me just kind of grabbing Kestrel's arm and kind of like doing an interesting pose where like he's not really trying to tug Kestrel or anything. He's
Aw.
just kind of leaning back but holding onto Kestrel's arm as he talks
Aw.
and like just trusting that Kestrel will like keep him from falling over.
Kestrel absolutely does. He is standing there, letting James hold on to his arm
And
and hang a little.
he's kind of like babbling a little bit as he rambles about his reasons for why, because he knows that Kestrel isn't really a like he, James views him as a dad, but Kestrel hasn't really chosen that role. It's more of a role that James kind of shyly put onto Kestrel. So he gets around to like eventually confessing that he and Eggs trust Kestrel. Well, James trusts Kestrel. Eggs knows Kestrel knows that he's a good coworker, kind of views you as a friend, and is okay with accepting James's trust to help protect people he cares about.
So you want him to watch children?
Yes, because you are a trusted person. And also you can punch a serial killer in the face if it happens. James basically is like, I trust you. You're reasonably sane. Also, you can punch a serial killer in the face. That's the main issue we're wanting you to help with. If like worse comes to worse.
I can do that.
Nodding.
If
Just
needed.
beaming up at Kestrel like, yeah, I know you can.
Aww.
Anyways, with Kestrel's agreement, James will lead him to the apartment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and he will take a little deep breath. And I need to move. Yeah, I'm in the right zone. R roll D10. Okay,
Kestrel
good.
in his
A
head is
3.
thinking, what activities do children like?
Do
What
children with
Well,
activities do
marbles?
children like?
these children love dumpster diving.
Hmm.
These
Apparently.
children.
Kestrel is just thinking like when I was a child, my main activities were hiding from my mother and learning combat. I don't think that's a normal standard.
Oof. Pat him. So they get to the point where they're at the front door of the apartment, and James takes a deep breath. His cheeks are kind of red, but he will pull out from his hoodie a bouquet of flowers that are purple.
Well, flowers.
Aw.
My brain is not giving me what type of flower, just the color, so they're kind of just your toony miscellaneous kind of flowers that are purple.
Mira.
Yes?
Suggestion.
Yes?
Chrysanthemums
Ooh, yes.
symbolize love, but are also used as funeral flowers.
Oh!
Oh.
Oh. I don't think James would want to emphasize that section.
Wait, frick. No, I was, dang it, I was trying to go for, never mind.
You're good. I personally like it. James just would not have chosen those flowers specifically.
Fair. Not chrysanthemums. Never
Not
mind.
chrysanthemums. They're very pretty though. I do enjoy chrysanthemums. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with my the generic kind of five petaled toony flowers that you learn how to draw.
Classic.
They're very classic, and they're purple, kind of a cute lilac purple color. And he will knock on the door.
Kestrel is looking at
and-
James knowingly but supportively.
He blushes a little harder.
I know what you are. I also am gay. And like a moment later, the door opens and Eggs is standing there.
James, blushing darker. These are for you. Holds up, okay.
Oh. Eggs takes the flowers a little bit surprised and is like, "Oh, that's really nice of you. Yeah. Do you wanna come in for a bit before we go?"
Sure. Also, Kestrel's here to help keep watch over the kids to make sure nothing bad happens.
Children.
Over the kids, yeah. Thanks for doing this, Kestrel.
He just
come in?
nods. He will come in.
James also
Yeah.
comes in.
Mhm. Luke is going to be trying to find something to put the flowers in the kitchen, which is... He doesn't have a vase. He doesn't have, like, cups.
Oh.
So...
I
Cups
think
for the
Trick
kids.
is like peering out from around like the armchair, you know? And it's sort
Thunder.
of like, you could put them with the snurter snails.
The Snimey. H also peeking around like the toon gag. One head on top of the other, around the armchair.
Adorable.
James,
I think the snails would eat them.
I mean, that's okay if you don't mind.
But they're pretty flowers.
Fuel our army.
Luke is a bit sad at the idea of the snails eating the flowers, though.
Just looking
James.
up at Trick like, the snails can't eat the flowers. They're a gift from James.
Well, what else can we? Oh, you could put them in like a coffee mug or something.
Yeah.
Really have one?
Forgot to put the 9 there. That was an insight. So that's
My
28?
28.
Yeah, 28
Oh.
insight.
Also, I'm having Chick rummage into her hammer space. 7. She pulls out a vase. It's like clearly from the garbage, but it's a vase.
Yeah, it works. Oh,
Sorry, I
I'm
should have
assuming the insight was on
on
Luke?
On Luke. Yes, James kind of
Yeah.
is like, sorry, I should have gotten one that had a face already.
Kestrel gives James a pat on the shoulder.
These are really nice, James.
Yeah.
And he's very touched by James bringing him these flowers and wants to, you know, keep them in good condition
They made me
and not
think of
have them
you.
get eaten. Oh. Oh, he is blushing behind the mask and very flustered, James can tell. Despite the mask.
Mm-hmm. James is also blushing, but he can't help
Oh
but
no, it's not
smile
cutting
so
her out.
lovingly at James at Luke.
I think it takes Luke a second being distracted looking at James before he realizes Trick has pulled out a vase and like reaches down to take it and fill it with water and get the flowers in it and everything.
I just like imagining like Trick like happily handing over the vase, and then her eyes, like her gaze, just drifts to Kestrel still like standing in the doorway, and like slowly her expression goes from sweet to like squinted.
Kestrel looking at Trick, who I he
I
can
think
definitely
he's only
recognize
met
that.
Cheese Malone.
Can definitely.
Should Kestrel roll history if Trick isn't in costume?
We'll have him roll a history because Toon.
Yeah.
Because Toon. I forgot to have the sheet up.
Oop.
That's
I
okay.
probably also pull up Chick's sheet just for this brief being. Where are you?
Sure. What's your history, sir? 8. He might not recognize that it's Cheese Malone.
Who
It's
is this
funnier if
random?
he doesn't. I mean, he is a Toon. Toons are
It's
very
funnier.
susceptible. Guys,
It like who is this random lost child?
Would you say a 14 is enough for Eggs to notice that Kestrel does not recognize this child?
yeah, Kestrel is staring at Trick in the suspiciousness of you look familiar, but he's not saying anything. But he's contemplating.
So, this is Trick. Trick, this is Kestrel. And then H is over. And Luke sort of looks over
H
to
was
where
gloved
H
onto.
is.
He is grabbed onto Luke's leg.
Oh, then Luke will lift him up into his arms to introduce him to Kestrel.
Hi. That's a big. He looks back at Luke, points at Kestrel. Big bird.
Big bird.
James kind of
Kestrel
laughs.
sighs.
Yeah. Kestrel is kind of big. Kind of pats Kestrel on the shoulder as he comes in a little bit more.
Yeah, he's gonna make sure you stay safe tonight, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a Snarmy to keep us safe.
Well,
We do have a Snarmy. So why do we need this guy in a tuxedo?
Because the Snarmy currently can't punch anybody who tries to hurt you guys.
They don't have hands. They're gonna stab people, not punch them.
They
But
haven't
they're
much
still in
weaponry.
training, aren't they?
But they're
Oh yeah.
still a little untrained.
I think Trick like goes to like squint at Kestrel appraisingly, like, can you train my snails to kill?
Probably.
James
You
currently.
don't have to do that tonight.
It's fine.
James's mouth just goes all squiggly in trying not to laugh.
The children in your care are training an army of snails.
Yes.
With weaponry, you said?
Yes, and like she points at the Snurder Snell Snarmy tank terrarium. And you can see snails with little hats on their shells and a little like weapon rack.
I see. We can figure something out. He is not
James.
opposed to helping the snails.
James actually snorts a little bit. He can't help it. He finds this so funny.
Looks at James as he snorts and is just like,
Sorry. It's just it's just a really great idea.
I feel like Trick Squint has moved in James. I'm gonna insight.
James, seeing Trick squint at him, look, the size dichotomy is just really funny. He doesn't doubt the snails. Stranger things have happened. It's
She
just
got an
really
8.
funny.
Does she believe his genuineness with that 8?
He's not hiding anything, so like I feel like the DC was a 5, so yeah, she can get the sincerity and humor from James.
I think she gives him a little gremlin smile and nods, and then crosses her arms and goes, "Soon enough, my Snurder Snail army will be able to take down that rabbit lady."
They're slimy.
James will sober a little bit at the mention of Rara.
Yeah, I think Luke holds each a little bit tighter.
the children in your care know about the rabbit lady.
Yeah, because we're trying to
I got
keep
kidnapped.
that.
Yeah.
Kestrel just makes a face.
Yeah, that's the main reason. Also, so they could try and avoid her, but James kind of gestures helplessly a little bit. Stuff
I
just
see why the daycare was not an option.
yeah, stuff just kind of happened. And since Eggs isn't gonna be on shift at the PartyPlex to be able to get to H, and if Trick wanted to go there in time, we thought it best to bring the guards here, because you're one of our best. And also a friend.
He does smile a bit.
I think Eggs nods a little bit.
And like, I love the clowns, but James kind of shudders a little. I don't think it would be a good idea.
Kestrel
I think
nods.
you can Trick frown slightly at that. Trick is pro clown. At least pro one of the clowns.
Yeah, we all know which one.
Kestrel is also pro one of the clowns. He is not pro the daycare clown, however.
I mean, I think Yaki does a good job, but yeah, having them at the PartyPlex without me being at the PartyPlex, yeah, we're not going to do that, and we're not going to bring the clowns here, so
It's just kind of stressful. James kind of
Understood.
shrugs a little bit.
Understandable. He's just
And we do trust
he's just
you.
looking. Aww. Again, another smile from him. But then he is also looking at James and looking at Eggs. Again with the knowing but supportive look.
James goes pink.
I mean, it's no secret that they're going out on a date, and that's why they need you as a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Did James specifically say it was a date?
Yes, he did. He was
Oh,
rambly, though.
I Pengu missed that.
I pat you. It was all kind of part of the setting ramble.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Sorry. I think Kestrel will still look at them both still supportively, I guess. But
James,
he'll
yeah, James would still go pink because it's just like, ah, yes, father figure approve. Eek.
father figure approved.
I love my dead gay son and his dead gay boyfriend.
Unbury the
Like, Trick
gays.
is also looking between James and Luke, knowingly.
Hmm.
Finally, they're going on an actual date.
Finally.
But also, like, she is slowly getting out her gas mask.
We'll get out of your hair. Well, fur. Fur? Fur. Yeah. We'll get out of your guys' fur soon enough. Don't worry, Trick.
Kestrel will say, like, you two have a nice night and do not worry. I will call you if anything happens.
Luke nods. I think he, like, before he puts H down, he's gonna be like, alright, I'm gonna be back later tonight, and if you have problems, you ask Kestrel, and you can also, call me on the walkie-talkie if you need to, okay?
Okay. Where will the hands be when you're back?
Points at clock.
Luke kind
Does
of
he have-
glances at James for an estimate.
James will give the answer of however long it takes for this FPS to be over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
then Luke will point to where the hands on the clock will be.
Okay.
So probably about this time.
Okay.
And then he will set H down and tell both the kids, like, please be good for Kestrel. Don't break out of the apartment and go rummaging through the dumpster again.
I make no guarantees.
Remember,
But what if we go?
he's one of the team. We're not trying to foil any fun. It's just
So what if we go with him to the dumpster? What if he comes with us to the dumpster?
that would be okay, I think. He looks at Luke for confirmation.
As long as Kestrel's okay with it, I think that's fine.
Kestrel is making a face.
James kind of just does a shrug at Kestrel. It's just like,
I'm just
Maybe
imagining as Kestrel.
Maybe Kestrel will have some other ideas for things you guys can do, that are also fun and aren't in a dumpster.
Kestrel makes another face because he has no idea what activities children like.
You guys can watch TV,
Yes.
you know where the remote is.
Also, coloring books. James,
Coloring books.
I'm just gonna have him pull out. Okay, good. He pulls out 2 coloring books and hands them
Yay.
both to Trick and to H. And while he's close to H, he will kind of just ruffle the fur in between his ears.
Thank you.
Yeah, of
Takes drawing
course.
books so politely.
Chick, like, upon getting a coloring book, reaches into her mouth and pulls out a pack of crayons that have clearly seen wear and tear.
Kestrel looks slightly appalled at seeing her reach into her mouth for her hammerspace.
I think Luke will also tell Kestrel, like, and they're allowed to have snacks, basically, whenever, if they're hungry.
Is there anything else I should know about vague gestures? He just saw one of these 2 children reach into their mouth and pull out crayons. He's wondering if there's anything else he should know.
Luke is like, I'm not gonna tell him about the night terrors thing. It's just like, the kids sleep under the bed instead of on it, so that's normal for them.
They like it cozy.
Right.
Also, don't ask permission to pick any of them up, because that's kind of just they're people, you know.
Oh, yeah, he nods. He nods like very, very surely.
James just beams.
Aw. He looks
Aw.
back at Trick.
Trick. It's just staring, like she's doing like the innocent pose with a little halo on top of her head. It's like, I'm a totally normal child who totally doesn't get up into to anything bad.
I feel like Luke is also looking at her, just like, don't be a menace.
Don't be a menace in her nature.
Just gonna really quickly run an insight on Trick from James. Okay. With a 27, what does James kind of pick up from Trick?
Trick is gonna go along with having a babysitter, but she also is a chaos gremlin, and she's gonna probably give Kestrel a run for his money that he's not being paid, I assume.
James would pay.
Aw.
Okay.
He
Kestrel 12 insight on the rabbit.
This child is plotting something, but you don't know what.
James kind of notes that and just kind of crouches down so he's like kind of level with Trick and just goes, "Thank you for not being." Oh, shoot, I had the words. Now the words are kind of scrambled in my brain. He basically says, "Thank you for not going out, like thank you for accepting the fact that you will have another adult watching you."
Putting up with this.
Yes, putting up with it. That's what he would say. And just goes, I know both Luke and I'm gonna roll stealth really quick because he's trying to be genuine but also quiet, so because he's invoking some actual facts. Okay, with a 24, I think he's able to keep his voice really low so Kestrel possibly doesn't hear him, and just goes, I know that I want you to know that Luke and I both know you can handle yourself. Think of Kestrel as having backup if anything bad happens. That's all this is, okay?
Okay. But I'm allowed to prank him, right?
Within reason. Just don't make him hate us for having asked us to. Don't make him hate me for asking him for help, okay?
Oh, yeah, she nods. It's like, I won't make him hate you. I might make him hate me, but hey. I'm lovable, so clearly that won't happen.
There's just kind of a moment where James kind of just goes, prayer hands. Have fun, but just don't go too far, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. You're a really good kid.
Like, I feel like she almost wants to say doubtful, but she doesn't.
Good.
Instead, she just nods politely.
Because James really means it, okay?
Aww.
Aww.
These two kids are part of his family, gosh dang it. He loves them.
Yeah.
Gremlin and all.
Menace.
And then he gets up and kind of smiles at Luke. You think that's all of it?
I've never really done this before. I think so.
Okay. Kestrel, feel free to call us if you have got any questions or any issues come up. We'd rather be informed.
I do imagine a glance at Trick at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fond
Kestrel.
look.
Kestrel nods, but he is also visibly wary because he saw the trick as plotting for something.
I do think as James kind of gets close to Kestrel again, he would kind of just in an undertone explain, Tricksters is a bit of a prankster. I'm sorry.
I picked up on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you have to take a bath or two.
What?
I don't know what she'll do. Listen, all of my experiences with pranks have been with goo and glitter. So
I see.
yeah, my older brother is kind of a prankster too. So he shrugs.
I will call you if necessary.
Yeah. Feel free to.
If not, do not worry.
Okay. Thank you.
He nods.
James will pat his shoulder.
Aw. I was gonna say Kestrel was gonna pat your shoulder.
The simultaneous shoulder pat.
Just kind of gestures for James, like it's the supportive little like, go be with your guy.
Aww.
Oh. And I think Luke is standing kind of near the door, sort of waiting for James.
With that, James will hold out his arm, kind of, so Luke can take it.
Oh,
He's being a gentleman.
He
yes. Luke is blushing and is very hesitant as he carefully takes James's arm.
He's such a gentleman.
And he will smile at the kids, wave, and escort Luke out. Blech.
Yeah, I think as they're like leaving, Trick will call out, "Have fun, you crazy kids!"
That makes thanks, you two guys. And the door shuts.
Have a good night, you guys.
The door shuts.
The door shuts.
Leaving
Leaving Kestrel to his fate.
Oh no, he's gonna get pranked.
Somehow.
And but before they get too far from the apartment, James will pull out from his hammer space a purple mask. Yeah, it's a purple plagues doctor mask. And he puts it on and kind of just tilts his head, blinking cutely at Luke and goes, "Well, how do I look?"
You always look nice. Is there a reason for it?
Well, I don't want you to feel alone. You're wearing a mask, so I'll wear one.
Oh, I think Luke just is like, oh, and kind of like takes James's hand again. You can roll insight.
I'm gonna roll insight. Woo, that's a dirty 28.
Yeah, I imagine it's not a 28 on the dice.
Oh no, it's a 19.
Yeah. Luke is very, very touched by that and sort of like trying not to cry.
Oh, James kind of just tugs Luke closer and gives him a half hug and goes, "It's okay if you cry. I know things are kind of overwhelming right now."
Yeah. That was really thoughtful of you.
I'm glad. I just want you to be okay. And not to have to worry about people staring and looking at you weird.
He gives like a little nod. It's been a while since that didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, they're not just going to be looking at you, they're going to be looking at me. And they're a set. So people will just look at that and go, oh, okay, and move on.
Luke is kind of leaning into James's side.
Oh, James just kind of gently squeezes. They're still walking, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
They're still walking. James gently what?
James just gently squeezes him close a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, they're still walking, just Luke is sort of also leaning into and cuddling James as they walk.
Yes, good. Luke probably is going to get just happy.
Yeah, Luke is happy too. He's kind of nervous also, because historically dates have not gone well for him, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. James will lead Luke to one of the very rare patches of actual vegetation and quote unquote a park where he has already set up for the date. It is a picnic blanket with a plastic foldable table, and there is a sheet on one side, and on either end of the foldable table is the cushion on the farther side that is closer to the hanging sheet is red, and then the one across from that is a purple cushion, like the title card.
I figured.
And with a kind of just a little gesture of James's hands, the candles that were on the table light up, and a few kind of sparkly lights kind of light up by the tree branches and stuff. So it's a nice, soft, warm atmosphere, and he's using prestidigitation for that.
Luke watches this and it's like, oh, fancy.
Yeah, I remembered how to do this, so I wanted to do this for you. Because, yes, fancy! He wants to treat his boyfriend to fancy!
Yay! You can roll insight on Luke.
That's a 17.
17. Luke is very touched, but he's also like a little bit worried with the presence of the picnic blanket and the table that you've got like food or something, and he doesn't want to have to turn it down.
Well, but James kind of just gently squeezes Luke and goes, I know you can't eat, but I wanted you to have a soft place to sit.
Luke nods and squeezes James's hand.
Also, he is gonna dig out his hammer space. Okay, good. He pulls out what looks like a rink pop, but is like not exactly a ring pop. I do a gesture. It's like maybe more of a teething toy, not like a stem wise. Actually, I'm thinking about. Point is, it's big enough. Luke won't swallow it. And he will cast Prestidigitation again, and let me actually just pull up the spell to give my justifications for this. You chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. And James does that to this teething toy. And it kind of sparkles a little bit to signify that it's now enchanted. And he hands it to Luke and goes, I know you can't eat, but can you still taste?
I haven't exactly tried for a while. Other than emotions, I guess.
James nods. I made sure that this was big enough that you wouldn't accidentally swallow it. Because he genuinely, like, if Luke can taste, James wants to give that back to Luke without the worry of something rotting inside him. Even though he doesn't know that that's the reason, he just knows Luke can't eat.
Yeah, I think Luke kind of looks at it, looks back at James, like,
You don't have to
he
use
is
it.
still very unsure about this.
You don't have to use it, but I wanted to give it to you. You could wear it as a necklace, even. Because there's a little spot where you can loop string through it, I'm imagining. And he just smiles at Luke and just, if you can, I just want to give you good things. If you can have them, because you deserve it. You deserve good things, Luke.
I'm not so sure about that.
James kind of just very gently bonks his mask against Luke's. Like a mask kiss. Well, I am. I'm very sure about this. And I'm not going to be mad if you're not ready to try. If you don't want to try, it's okay. I just wanted to give you the option. I'm not going to be mad if you say no.
I think Luke sort of looks back down at the jewelry, and for now he just tucks it into his pocket.
And like James said, he doesn't get mad. He doesn't even get sad. He just accepts it. And he will nuzzle Luke a little bit. Well, besides that, I kind of have a little not presentation, but a performance, I guess you could say, that I wanted to do for you.
Oh?
Yeah.
Luke is curious at that.
James, the mask kind of shows that James is blushing a little bit because he's a toon. It's gonna happen. and his eye, like the eye sockets where with the mask, kind of crinkle a little bit. And he goes, "Yeah, I really hope you like it. I spent a lot of time on the script and the lyrics. And anyways, if you'll take a seat here, my good sir," and he gestures to the purple cushion.
Yeah. Luke will sit down where James indicates.
Also, James kind of gets a light bulb as Luke settles, and he pulls out. I'm just gonna. These are two different items, so. Okay, good. No fumbles on either. He pulls out a full teapot that's kind of steaming a little bit, and then 2 cups. One with a tea bag, and then one that's doesn't have anything, and he kind of shows it to Luke to show, like, there's nothing in here. It's an empty teacup. And then he puts his, which has the tea bag, where he's going to sit eventually, and then puts the empty teacup in front of Luke and pours some steaming hot water over it, so you can enjoy the warmth, he says softly.
What? Luke is looking up at James with like a very soft expression that's probably mostly hidden by the mask, but his irises are little hearts again.
James is just, there's a few hearts there that kind of drift off him, and he his eyes crinkle up into half moons as he smiles underneath the mask. And then he will go fill his cup with hot water as well, so the tea is steeping while he performs. And he kind of clears his throat, stands to the side of the curtained projection screen, I guess you could say, and kind of gestures with his hand a little bit, and light and shadow start to play across the screen, and Luke will start to recognize that it has several notes of the dramas he likes to watch. Very dramatic. James is kind of doing but all of the voices and stuff, kind of putting on a one-man show for Luke.
Man, Luke is sitting there holding his cup and blushing so hard under the mask.
Aww. Does Luke want to roll insight on James?
Yeah.
Okay.
13.
With a 13, you can tell that James is having a blast.
James is having a blast.
Yep.
Luke is glad.
This is his kind of fun. And it's not just for Luke's sake that James is putting this on, but also it is kind of for Luke, because this is all dedicated to Luke.
Man.
You're dating a bard.
He is. He is dating a bard who is so thoughtful and loving.
Mm-hmm.
And way nicer to him than he thinks he deserves.
James is going to do his best to change that line of thinking.
Mm-hmm. He sure is, huh?
Yup. He is gonna just keep trying to lift Luke up. Even when Luke just wants to sit down and wallow.
Man.
But yeah, there's just like drama, action, tragedy. It's got all of it. Like, it's pretty impressive for a one-man show with prestidigitation, shadows, and lights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like after a minute Luke starts getting very invested in it. And
Oh,
like
good.
as James performs, he might notice like Luke gasping at the twists or reacting in general to the show.
Oh, that's just gonna egg James on. He is just
Egg him on.
unintentional. He just, his confidence is rising, and things kind of just start getting a little bit more dramatic, more flourishy, more telenovela.
Mm-hmm.
As he
Which
reacts
is the sort of yeah.
to Luke reacting and stuff. 'Cause yes, it's working. He's doing a good job. He's getting a good grade in Boyfriend.
He was already getting a good grade in Boyfriend.
I wiggle.
Mm. Yeah, it certainly doesn't hurt. That is the type of show that Luke loves, as much as he's sometimes embarrassed to admit.
Mm-hmm. James kind of eats that stuff up like a spoon, too, so he is very excited to have Luke react so positively to all of the drama, the intrigue, the tragedy. But eventually, as all things must, the show ends. But before James will take his seat, he kind of shuffles a little bit and will pull out a little notebook.
Mm.
I before we sit down and I can have a snack, I wrote something for you, but besides the play. But before that happens, does Luke give any reaction to that confession?
Um, hmm. I think he's like a bit surprised because like James has already done so friggin' much. And he's just like
Just
there's like
there's
not saying out
more.
loud, but like there's more. Not in a bad way, just in an overwhelmed way.
Uh-huh.
But like pleasantly overwhelmed, I guess.
Mm-hmm. The good kind of overwhelm.
He is being smothered with affection.
He is. He really is. And he can probably pick up James's shy nervousness at this. And then he clears his throat and goes, "A Song for Luke" by James Wright. I know that things have been difficult. I know that the world has not been kind. But I know what I feel, and I know just what kind of difference might help ease your mind. You say that you're a monster, confess the horrible deeds you've done, but I see the way your hands tremble, the desperate ways you ponder, whether it would be wise to run. And I hold you close and whisper, I accept you as you are. I pray that you'll know how I love you between the spaces that linger. I love you as you are. I love you. I love you. You're my guiding star.
Oh my god, Luke is crying.
And James will sit down next to Luke and pull him into a hug. He will pull him into a hug.
Luke is going to do his best to bury his face in James's shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and he hugs James back.
Every word I wrote, I mean it.
Yeah, I know.
Good. Resting his masked cheek on Luke's head.
Luke is very overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. James kind of suspected that would be the case.
He was right.
And then he just kind of, he is very content to hold Luke. He is very content to hold Luke. Luke. Mother pecker.
He is content to hold Luke.
Yes.
Good. Luke just kind of wants to stay here and be held for a bit. If James does one more thing for him right now, that's gonna be too much.
Mm-hmm. Good thing is, he has nothing else planned. That's all he really wanted to do. He just really wanted to spoil Luke rotten for their first date because he thought that would be nice.
Spoil him rotten.
Again, unintentional pun.
Well, it was definitely nice. Kind of too much nice. Critical niceness levels reached.
Whoops.
For Luke.
But yeah, James is planning on them just spending some time together and it just being a lot more relaxed and chill now.
That's more Luke's speed.
Mm-hmm.
He eventually pulls his face out of James's shoulder and relaxes his grip just a little. James doesn't have to let him go if he doesn't want to, but he's done crying for the moment.
James just gently wipes away any remnants of tears from underneath the mask, and his eyes crinkle. Sorry if I overwhelmed you.
That's way more than I ever did for anyone on a date before.
That's okay. He kind of weighs his words a little bit. Masked face tilting, very bird-like. I'm not. You don't have to go to that level for me. This isn't going to be a standard you have to follow. I just wanted to do something really special for this first one.
Well, I think you accomplished that.
His eyes crinkle a little. And now we can just take the time to enjoy each other's company.
Luke gives a little nod.
That's really what dating is for. It's to spend time with each other.
Yeah.
James kind of hugs him a little closer. And that's sorry.
I like spending time with you, Jaybird.
There's just a little squee of happiness that escapes him that he cannot hide.
A little what escapes him. Sorry.
I'm gonna murder my internet. Just like a little squee, like a happy noise, escapes him.
Aww. Luke smiles at that.
That sounds amazing, Lou. That sounds amazing, Lou. I swear, if I speak fast enough, I can escape the curse.
Speak fast enough to escape the gravitational pull of the internet dead zone.
Basically.
You can't leave any dead air for it to get its claws in.
Now there's a... My brain just handed me a villain. Oh boy. Like, villainous concept. Dead air. Oh boy.
Haha. Excellent.
I don't know where I'm using it, but it's in my head now.
Not here on this date, at least.
Nope. Not here.
I don't think James is going to make it back to the other side of the table. Luke is just
Nope.
holding on to him.
He is very fine with this. I think at some point he will pull out of his hammer space just a small wrapped sandwich and stuff, and will munch, but is like one arm draped around Luke and the other holding sandwich.
I think like Luke will give him enough space to eat and drink his tea and stuff, but just...
No, he wanted to be close.
James is here. Luke wants to be here with James.
James also wants to be here by Luke. He is just giving me that he just full on will be leaning kind of against Luke. Not enough that it'll push the poor guy over, but like enough to be like, I'm not pulling away. Peck you.
Exactly. I was also picturing Luke sitting by James's side leaning into him.
They're both leaning. Excellent. That makes James very happy.
Yes. Luke is happy too.
Yay! Just James is just giving cuddle. I want to cuddle. Cuddle him.
Luke also wants to cuddle. Go for it, man.
He's gonna cuddle his boy. Just very, very carefully tug Luke into his lap. Success.
Yes.
And he's just gonna hold and nuzzle very gently.
I think Luke does take a look around to see if, like, anyone else is here in this park and likely to come near 10. I don't know that he's a very good judge of it, though.
It's pretty dark. Well, he has night vision, so I guess. It's dark out.
He is cuddling James, who is probably blocking a lot of his field of view.
This is true. Just gonna roll a perception for James. Oh.
Nat 1.
That's a nat 1. He looks around, doesn't see anybody, kinda does a little shrug and goes back to hugging Luke. With Luke, it doesn't seem to be that there's anybody out and about, and if they are, they're really distant silhouettes melding into the cityscape.
In that case, I think Luke is gonna, like, gently reach for, James's mask and try to, like, he is very gently trying to take it off. He's not 100% sure how James's mask works, so he's not trying super hard to take it off, but, like, indicating to James, take the mask off.
It comes away pretty easily, and you suddenly see your smiling, plushy face of a boyfriend.
He will put James's mask on the table and then take his own mask off and put it on the table. Then cuddle to James without masks in the way.
James just makes a soft, happy noise and nuzzles his face into Luke's. There you are. Kiss
Luke is
cheek.
blushing. Ah! He's blushing more.
James giggles a little.
I think Luke also giggles a little bit. And is then going to also kiss James on his cheek.
Oh.
Revenge.
Revenge! Ah! His face is red.
Luke giggles some more.
There are hearts leaking from him, and he just leans forward and cups Luke's cheek, and then kisses him on the mouth.
Yes! Luke kisses him back.
Yes! The gay!
The gay!
James just kind of gently tugs him a little closer and keeps kissing. He is only stopping for air.
With that. Valid.
And then he will rest his forehead against Luke's and just go, I love you so much.
I love you too, Jaybird.
Thank you for letting me see you. And he kind of just gently strokes Luke's cheek.
for not freaking out about it.
Yeah, I can understand why people would. And then just hugs Luke a little closer and goes, "But I will never be like that."
Thank you. Was that audible?
Yes, at least to me.
Okay, good. Yay. Yeah, Luke doesn't really know what else to say. He's leaning into James,
James just kind of,
just like holding him.
mm-hmm. James is also holding Luke right back.
Yeah.
Just holding so soft.
Holding.
I do think there would be a few kisses that James kind of peppers onto Luke's face.
Ah. Mhm. Luke blushes.
James just kind of giggles like, hee hee, success.
You flustered your boyfriend.
He loves seeing Luke flustered. It's adorable.
He turns a very bright shade of purple.
And it's so cute. There is just love, adoration, and oh, cute coming from James.
Man. Oh. And I think Luke sitting there just holds on to James a little bit tighter and relaxes just a tiny bit.
Wah. James will just gently nuzzle Luke with his nose. Just nose nuzzle to Luke. I love you so much.
Luke is looking at him with the little hearts in his eyes.
James just has the sappiest love expression on his face.
Oh, Luke's like, oh, I know, Jaybird. There's no mistaking that. I love you too.
That just like ignites a little spark of happiness. He loves that. He loves hearing that.
Yee. Luke is gonna try his best to keep saying it and remember that James can't just sense emotions and know it.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately. Be fun if he could, but he can't.
That has its own downsides too.
Mm-hmm. It does.
But instead, Luke will have to communicate.
Yes! Communication! One of the pillars of a relationship!
Indeed.
James just loves Luke so friggin' much.
Yeah. Luke loves James. He doesn't really get why James loves him so much, but he feels very lucky for it.
James can't really put into words why, except that he does.
Mm-hmm.
He came in swinging.
He did. And Luke knows James means it.
Mm-hmm. No duplicity here.
Mm-hmm.
James just kind of hugs Luke a little closer. Just giving a gentle squeeze.
Yeah. Luke is very happy to sit here in James's lap being held by him.
Mm-hmm.
It's warm, and there's a lot of love and happiness and nice emotions in the air.
Yeah. And there's no one around to see or judge or look. It's just them.
Yeah. I think it's the first time he's been outside without a mask on in a long time.
Well, yeah. I think James kind of just squeezes Luke a little. James squeezes Luke a little and goes, I like these kind of dates. We should come out here and cuddle and just be together like this. It's nice.
Yeah. I think so too.
I wonder how
He gives James a little kiss on the cheek.
Ah! He blushes, smiles. He smiles.
Mhm.
I wonder how Kestrel's handling Trick.
I mean, I doubt the two of them will kill each other. They got along pretty well on the road trip, all things considered.
Oh, that's good.
Although, Kestrel didn't seem to recognize her, so maybe that she is small in disguise is better than I thought.
Oh, that just makes James start to giggle. He starts giggling.
Oh, Luke smiles.
Amusement.
He likes seeing James happy like this.
Aw. Amusement is just bright in the air. He's so amused.
Should we wrap up the date and send them back to the apartment? I feel like they'll sit here forever if given the chance.
Oh yeah, they would if they could. We should wrap up, I think, because he's not giving me any more dramatic gestures of love. He's very content to just hold and cuddle.
Mm-hmm.
So we need
And
to shoo them.
occasionally kiss.
Yes. So we need to shoo them out of the park.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a little reminder from Handy that's like, you guys should probably head back to the apartment now if you want to make it by the time you told H.
Oh, shoot, right. James kind of jumps a little bit.
Yeah.
Lost in the gay
He-
sauce.
Mm-hmm. Luke will also get up and put his mask back on and help James pick up all of the date stuff.
And into the hoodie it goes. How it fits? Don't question it. And then after everything's picked up, he will put his own mask back on.
Luke takes James's hand to hold as they walk back.
Yes, good. James will give it a very gentle squeeze. There's hearts still kind of drifting off of him because he just loves Luke so much. He cannot help this.
Valid. If Luke could do the little heart emanata, he probably would.
Aww. I hold him so soft.
He's like holding James's hand and tucked tight against James's side as they walk back to the apartment.
Yes, good. James kind of has his like other like, well, no, that doesn't work. Gosh dang it, James wants more hands. He wants more arms to hold Luke with.
Incredible.
But eventually, they get to the apartment, so they can relieve Kestrel.
Are they hearing signs of chaos from outside the apartment door?
Should we roll like a perception?
We can.
Hello.
Sure.
That's
I
a-
didn't mean to unmute. I just randomly discovered Control M is the key to unmute.
Huh.
I thought we
You're
were
welcome
hopping
to
back
unmute,
in.
though.
Oh, yeah, you guys
it's
are.
end cameo time.
Oh,
That's a
MJ,
50
are they
for
hearing
Luke.
commotion?
I don't think so. I have something in mind. I'm picturing just like they enter the apartment and find like Trick, H, and Kestrel like sat in a circle on the floor playing like Go Fish like it's poker.
I think
like
if
this.
they're not hearing chaos from inside, Luke is going to turn to James and like pull his mask to the side and give James a little kiss before he opens the door to head in.
That door is the only thing saving Trick from being, Mother Pecker, what is the word?
Smothered,
Fumigated?
suffocated, fumigated.
Fumigated!
Fumigated.
Fumigated, that's the word. From being fumigated out of her own home.
She can probably smell the love creeping in under the front door.
Like she's just casually like to the other two like, oh, they're back.
And then the door
And then like the
opens!
door opens.
Luke and James with their masks back on properly now.
Yep, though I feel like
Oh.
James would kind of put the mask on like against his forehead, so it almost looks like a unicorn. A giant unicorn horn. Just so the kids don't freak out, because he didn't put it on in front of them. Because that was for Luke.
Yeah.
That was for Luke.
Yeah, he could put it away entirely if he wants, honestly.
He
It would make the kiss much easier if he sort of like tucked it into Hammer's space once they got to the door.
Oh, that's true. He probably would, just because he does like kissing Luke. He does like kissing Luke. James walks in with the goofiest love-struck expression on his face from that kiss.
Aww.
And Luke is walking into and probably looking over the apartment, checking that everyone is okay.
I think they are.
They're playing Go Fish.
Playing Go Fish. I feel like it's probably like some arts and crafts supplies as well, or something like the crayon drawings from the coloring sheets they were given.
Yeah. And Luke's like, "Oh, did you guys have a nice time tonight?"
Yeah.
Eggs will get his leg hugged.
Yeah, he's going to scoop H up and hold him.
Yay!
There is a burst of familial love from James, because just adoration of both Trick and H.
They're good kids.
They are.
I will say, I bet Kestrel has like a kick me sign on his back.
Oh, good.
Luke is going to try to subtly take that off as he walks over to talk to Trick and Kestrel as well. With a 10, Kestrel might notice that.
Kestrel just looks back at you, just like, what? Just looks at you
Luke,
like, what did you do?
Luke has H in one arm and like a crumpled piece of paper in the other.
What is that?
He hands the paper over to Kestrel.
Oh, got him with the old sign on the back thing, huh?
I have no idea what you're talking about. That totally wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
He uncrumples it. Sighs.
While he's looking at that, she's trying to sneak another one onto his back.
Luke glares down at her like,
James is starting to giggle.
please.
She backs off, but she looks disappointed.
Luke leaning down like, why don't you go try it on James instead? I think he'd take it much better.
That gets her to smile like a chaos gremlin, and she scuttles off. Gonna ambush James at some point.
There's just I am
Mhm.
imagining a camera cut to like James squawking or something because of what Trick did, and then laughter.
Aww.
I'm picturing like James standing in the kitchen and Trick sneaking up behind him, standing on the countertop to be able to reach.
Yeah.
Very good. James is used to having prankster siblings. I look at Peck.
Eggs to Kestrel would be like, thank you for looking out for them tonight.
Kestrel nods, and he looks tired, I think.
Understandable.
James.
They're good kids, but they are kind of a lot sometimes.
Mm-hmm. James is gonna
I know
hug.
it ended with Go Fish, but I'm still imagining Trick gave him a run for his money, as she said.
Like, I have a feeling it's like they started calmly, ended calmly, but there was like a bit of pure chaos in the middle that we'll just leave ambiguous.
Yeah.
James will hug Kestrel before Kestrel
Aw.
leaves.
James gets a pat-pat. A hug and a pat-pat on the back.
There's just happy peregrine trill noise
Oh.
that James doesn't really
Aw.
know that he's making, but it's his happy noise, so I do a gesture.
Happy bird
Luke
coated eye.
Luke thinks that's very cute.
Yes, good.
Aw.
And he just kind of looks up at Kestrel and goes, "Thank you again."
Aw. Kestrel just smiling at James, and we'll probably ask, like, well, never mind, the words left me, never mind.
You're good. I get that.
He was gonna ask something about, like, did you have a good time? Was it good? Was it
Oh,
good?
yeah. James will blush and then nod shyly.
Good.
Luke is also blushing and sort of like refusing to make eye contact with Kestrel, a bit embarrassed.
Kestrel understands.
I really hope that my grandmother is not audible.
What? You
Uh,
hope that you're.
my grandma, she's talking to my aunt as she leaves because we have cousins over.
Oh, yay.
So
Heard, like, a
Some
little
background chatter
overheard,
just then, but not like a lot. Nothing
Okay.
distinct.
Okay, good. But yeah, I do a gesture. James is just a very happy, content, happy being right now.
Good. Bird bean.
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 We just close out on all of us just saying bird bean.
Well, I have a thought, which is like after Kestrel leaves, Luke going up to talk to James, like, "Are you heading out too?" In a kind of hopeful tone that's like, "You don't have to."
James doesn't
Aw.
want to go, and he will kind of shuffle a little, and he will shuffle in place a little and go, would it be okay if I slipped over?
Well, it's fine with me anyway. He looks at the kids for their input.
Dick
H is
has
going to
donned
go.
the gas mask but is giving a thumbs up.
That
H's tail is wagging.
that makes James blush harder.
At this point,
I'm-
Trick is probably just using the gas mask as a silent way to tease them.
Mhm. Luke is blushing, but he will hold James's hand with his free hand. His other hand is still holding H, like against his hip.
Oh. Oh, James is so happy.
Yeah, Luke is very happy too.
I hand you, he will conk out, still cuddling Luke. Like, they were staying up to watch a show or something, and James just kind of zonks out, leaning against Luke's shoulder.
Oh.
James and H and Trick all conked out on Luke.
Yep.
Maybe they were sitting on the bed together because Luke still doesn't have a sofa. So there's room for everybody to conk out.
Yay!
Either that or they're really piled on in that armchair.
Mhm. They're tunes. They could make it work.
Tunes. H
And
and Trick are itty bitty.
Mhm.
They are.
And
Luke is
James
going to.
James doesn't mind being a bed for the smaller ones.
Aww.
Yeah. And Luke will sit there and not wake any of them up. Let them sleep.
Let them
Look
see
softly down at them. And family.
Him family.
Family.
family. Him family.
Yay!
I'm just imagining
And I
like
think
the
that's-
circle closing on that soft
Yeah.
expression.
Yeah. It would have to be heart-shaped, right? Heart-shaped
Oh yeah.
closing out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Does a little pop with a couple hearts.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
all, folks.
That's all, folks.
Oh.
Bye.
Well, thank you guys for playing. Thank you to everyone listening. I hope you enjoyed the gay.
Have a happy
Yay.
Pride.
Yay. Happy
Yeah.
Pride.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.